Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, they say when it rains it pours, and it's now pouring very heavily within the Nigerian state. Have absolutely no doubt about that. And the hotbed of activity at the moment, it would seem, is that Ondo road, the road between Ore and Ondo especially, but the Ondo Benin Ore road is really where the activity is going on at the moment. So guys, I bring you this. Miyetti Allah members set up vigilante group checkpoint in Ondo. So that's the headline. Miyetti Allah members set up vigilante group checkpoint in Ondo. So now to the body of the story. Some members of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria have set up a vigilante group in Ondo State, mounting checkpoints along the highway. The General Secretary of Forward Buhari, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, said this during an interview on Channels Television Sunrise Daily in Abuja on Monday. Ajulo said he was traveling to Ondo State with armed policemen on Sunday when he sighted the armed herdsmen with their cattle. The former National Secretary of the Labour Party said when he accosted the herdsmen, they claimed they were doing it with the permission of the Nigerian police force. He said, "I was in my state yesterday, Sunday, when I saw Fulani herdsmen under the auspices of Miyetti Allah tag themselves as vigilante group of Ondo State in this country in the southwest. They were all over and nobody is stopping them. I was with some armed security men and so we stopped them. We were even trying to call the DPO and the police to ask if they were aware of their presence." When asked to explain himself better, Ajulo repeated, "I was in Ondo State around 4 p.m. yesterday and we saw Fulani herdsmen with cattle, gun and cutlasses, and they showed me their ID cards that they are vigilantes and they are the ones securing the highway. I took pictures of their ID cards and I questioned them and they said the police were aware of what they were doing." And please now listen to this part very carefully. Ajulo, who is a staunch supporter of President Muhammadu Buhari, so this is not at all a critic, and again, Ajulo, who is a staunch supporter of President Muhammadu Buhari, said he had always been of the opinion that the herders farmer crisis should not be given an ethnic coloration, but his recent experience had altered his stance. He noted that most security guards in the southwest were persons of northern extraction, but said his recent encounter was enough to put fear in the minds of Yoruba people. Ajulo added, "The southeast is saying they don't want Fulani herdsmen in their land, but they are now in Yoruba land. This is real. Mind you, we are not castigating anybody. I lived in Lagos and in Ibadan, and our security guards were usually northerners, and we don't have any problems with them. But when things start to happen, people need to talk. The question is, what are they doing there? Where are the police? They have abandoned the roads for these people, herdsmen, and you don't expect people to talk." He said there was a need to take urgent action to prevent bloodshed in the country. An identity card of one of the armed herdsmen, which was posted by Ajulo on social media, indicated that they were members of MACBAN, which is of course Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, and they belongs to the Ikare Akoko branch of the association. The logo of the vigilante group has two guns, whilst the code was MACBAN/NHQ/MSC. The Forward Nigeria convener, however, admitted that the herdsmen did not act violently towards his entourage as they willingly allowed him to take their pictures and photos of their ID. "They looked very bold, but they allowed me to take pictures of their ID," he said. When contacted, the National Secretary of Miyetti Allah, Baba Usman, told one of the correspondents, "I don't know anything about that. I just heard this from you. The security agencies should go after them. I don't know anything about that one." Usman also said that the ID card on one of the herdsmen does not belong to his group. The development comes barely a week after Mrs. Funke Olakunrin, the daughter of Afenifere leader Reuben Fashoranti, was killed along the highway in Ondo State by suspected herdsmen. The federal government, as well as the ruling All Progressive Congress, have, however, denied reports that herdsmen were behind the killing. So now there we have it now. So we are now totally in complete domination by these people. You have herdsmen now. They are not now in the bushes anymore. They are on the highways now, mounting checkpoints and determining who can travel through Yoruba land. So again, just so that you are clear in your mind, Fulani herdsmen from Borno, from Niger, from Mali, from wherever he is from, has traveled all that distance, hundreds of miles, to come to Yoruba land, to Ondo State in particular, to mount a checkpoint and determine how Yoruba people can travel within Yoruba land. So now that is the state of play, and that is an exact description of what this guy has described. And the guy who brought the narrative to the public consciousness is not a critic of the government, is actually not just a fan of Buhari, is somebody that is actively working for the interest of Buhari. So this is not an anti-Buhari person that has come into the media space to run the government down, but this is actually the convener of one of the leading groups that supports and promotes the Buhari agenda. And what has he come to say? He was traveling on the Lagos to Ondo expressway, anyway, towards Ondo State. That's really where the activity is. So he was traveling on that road, and they came across these people, heavily armed, mounting a checkpoint, and then he accosted them to identify themselves, and they identified themselves as Fulani herdsmen, and then they showed their ID card as being part of the terrorist organization known as Miyetti Allah, and then they consequently said that they had the approval and of course the knowledge of the security apparatus of the state to mount that checkpoint in that place. So now if the security services that is meant to secure and protect the lives of Ondo people have now commissioned out their brief, then can we see the agreements that they signed with these people? Can we see what sort of payments they are paying? Because these people have to be paid for their services. If the police have abdicated their responsibility and they've franchised it out to this Miyetti Allah vigilante group, then of course these people have to be compensated for their services. So now let's know now what formal agreement is in place between the Nigerian police and this Miyetti Allah vigilante group that is now supervising the movement of Yoruba people within Yoruba land. So now this is now where we are now, and these people are of course untouchable, and their chairman from wherever in Abuja is saying he's not aware of them. When we have the ID card, well, we can see clearly the guy really is now saying he's having second thoughts about the Fulani header clashes, because this thing really is just a made-up narrative, is a Fulani domination. And by the way, if this guy was so brave and he thought all these Fulani header clashes was just something made up by the papers, why did he then travel with a security entourage just to travel from Lagos to his own home state? If he thought the whole thing was a nonsense, why did he not get into the car by himself and drive all the way through and then see what sort of experience he would have had with that encounter with these Fulani people? Because those Fulani people saw the security entourage, of course, that is why they were placid and compliant. But if it was a man traveling by himself, the car would be in the bushes and the guy would have been disappeared, either for ransom money or just to be made dumbud. This is the goings on now on that road now, which is now where officially probably almost certain the most dangerous road to travel now in the world, because that Lagos Benin Ore Express Road is now one of the high flashpoint roads in the world, and you travel on that road at your own risk. And all the reports that we've been hearing now would make you a very foolish person to attempt to even travel that road at all, really, any time of the day, in fact, because these people are operating in daytime too. So there's no time that is now safe for you to travel on that road, and even the high profile people are now traveling with a security entourage. So to go and visit your grandma or your mom or dad in the townships, in the rural areas, you have to travel with a police convoy and then come back with a police convoy. Otherwise, then you're probably just going to say goodbye to them, because obviously on your way back, that is if you get there safely, on your way back you will encounter a herdsman, and then of course then you know what the narrative is. Conversations in the comment section is what I am inviting, but click on the red subscribe button before you come join me in the comment section. Click on the bell button as well so you are notified every time I drop a new video. Then come join me in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll leave you here. Carry on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.